Hey everybody, can you hear me? Are we live? Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Listen, you're probably saying, why does this woman have her shades on in the house? Because my favorite window blinds are not working. So that is what's happening. So give me a second here, kind of get this straight for y'all. All right, so look, don't waste your 2017 tax return. I'll try to do it for as long as possible. And why do I say that? Because so many of you are reaching out, and I'm very grateful for the consults and talks because you're getting ready to get your tax refund. But up here is where the tax refund starts. And you already know your tax refund is where you've overpaid, or if some of you are lucky, you have several kids, or you have a two-income home, several things, right? I can tell you over and over again, I have people who get $2,000 to $8,000 a year. And I ask them, where does it go and what do they do with it? Usually clothes, trips, a new car. It's not uncommon. We always call it tax refund season when everybody in February has brand new 30-day tags on their car. It's kind of comical that people take a little bit of money and put it back into new debt, but that's what happens. Already today, I've had not one, but two clients call and say they won their bid. I have two who are in a pending status, but I think they're probably going to win too. And that's important. That's important to realize that they've completely changed their family's history, life tree, by taking that money, that they have and investing in tax liens. So what happens? If at the end of the year, the people don't pay their bill back, they got another property for the cost of a tax lien and probably paying a lawyer for a quiet title. But it all starts with foundation and mindset. If you guys are spending your time, if you watch this channel or any of the channels I associate with, if you're watching this channel, you're already thinking about positive, productive ways to make your income work for you. Now, I hate people getting the flipping mindset. They're going to take $1,000 and make it into $1 million. That just isn't happening. That's just what Glenn and Cameron calls hustler born. And it's just not realistic, right? You're not going to flip it that hard. The only way that happens is if you invest that $1,000 into yourself and really kind of put it in your mindset. Now, I tell you guys the story all the time, and I'm going to tell this story again about a woman who, when I worked at H&R Block, came in first year. She just lost her job, got a new one. She had an $8,000 tax return, put about $2,000 into a $35,000 house. If you're from Fayetteville, North Carolina, she put it in the Westwood area, Westover area, school area. Stayed there for a year, cleaned the house up, made it look nice, moved on to another house, rented that first one out, moved to another side of town. Kids are just going along with it. Great. Next year, she does it again. Finally, for her third year, I never saw her after that. She moved into the Jack Britt School District, the really nice school district. Now, what happened that changed a woman in 3 years from going from being unemployed, getting this, having 3 kids, single mom, to now owning 2 rental properties and having her dream home on the other side of town so her kids go to one of the best schools in the county? It takes mindset. It takes mindset. It takes her working with real estate classes because she wanted to be a realtor, just learning, learning how to make that thing go, right? So it's important for y'all to figure out before the money gets to your hand, because whatever you're already thinking, the money just gets there and you do it. Now, the best example for this is millionaires. Whenever you see people win the lottery and they get the money and it's just running through their hands like water, that's the prime example. And so you got to think ahead of time, right? Ahead of time is where you win. So I'm going to check over to see the comments over here. Let me see if I can see them. Okay, Urban Thomas says, hey, Eric, I'm thinking about using my tax refund to do a partnership with my friends and opening a daycare home. Is it in a home, Thomas? Do you own the home? I'm going to give you this free tip. I put the home under an LLC separate, and then the daycare under another LLC, just in case something gets sued. You got some coverage there. Just saying. Note from what I've learned. Anyway, we can talk more about that another day. I'm late to the show, even though I'm in the back of an ambulance. D-Bloke, are you working in Florida again? Okay, right. How does Lending Club work is kind of confusing. Definitely go through in there. I'm gonna put my shades on. Sorry, the window's getting too bright. Definitely go through their tutorial. They have a tutorial for you to learn. Now, you might fall into, depending on your state, you might fall under 2 different categories. One category is where you can invest in the notes directly, and it looks very streamlined, very clear, very easy, $25. But if not, they might have put you in the portfolio note, depending on your state. So I don't know which state you're in, but some states had to use the portfolio note, which means it just looks a little bit more complicated. It looks more like a spreadsheet. It's a little more frustrating. And there's all different amounts from $1 to $300, right? Fort Lauderdale, D-Bloke. Yeah, so that's, Lending Club has a lot of tutorials you could use for that. But at the end of the day, the daycare ideal is very tangible. Let me just give you an ideal. Let's say your person spends 160 a week. I don't always go with people who use the government for daycare purposes, but let's say it's 160 a week. 160 a week, or $60 a week, depending on the age of the child, or it's just part-time. There's all kind of different price range. But if you just said 100 a week per child, each child is like $400. $400 times 20 children. Okay, you do the math. It depends on how valuable this is to you. Who's working in the daycare? Is it family? Is it friends? Is there a system to make it more? Because if you have a 3-bedroom home and a big enough kitchen, and you have to make sure the bathrooms are appropriate size. But if you got a 3-bedroom home, you can have babies in one room, and the den be the play area, and the other 2 back rooms have different ages. Just saying. Okay, Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Irvin's in Miami, Indiana. Andre, that's in Indiana. Look up Clayton Morris Invest. Look him up. The dude does about 15 flips a month in Indiana. $40,000 gets you about $675 a month in rentals. Free tip for the day. D-Bloke, I'm looking to pay off my Honda Accord note with Bank of America with my tax refund. Yes, the house is paid off. Where it told us. Corporation. Yeah, that works too. Yeah, I mean, the LLC is the same thing. It's just a limited liability. But S Corp or C Corp is just the next step. Yes, you can. Antonio Williams, if you're in parts of Virginia, and I'm going to say parts, Virginia's gotten very expensive lately, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, I mean, even in parts of edges of Douglasville and different places, they're still buying 2-story houses for 60 grand in Atlanta, depending on the neighborhood. Now, this is Douglasville. Douglasville is all the way down to the bottom, and it's like a whole other suburb. I had a cousin with someone's foreclosed custom build 2-story house for $70,000. You can find decent housing. My thing is, what is your mindset? I know we had a coffee shop, and down the street, maybe like 2 more stores down, there was a Chinese family. They bought a $35,000 house in that same neighborhood I'm talking to. They only stayed there a year, turned around and rented out. Really, the $35,000 house, if you're smart, if you don't do an owner-occupied mortgage, if you just do an investor mortgage, that's you 10%, 20% down, that's nothing. Do the math on that. $35,000 house, 10% is what? What is 20%? Y'all do the math. Anton Williams, there are multiple houses for 40 grand in Indiana, 40 grand in Wisconsin, Madison, Wisconsin, right by the college, on the edges, not even college students. It's like actual working families. There's a guy who makes his big money. He's on Bigger Pockets all the time talking about it, investing right outside Madison, Wisconsin for 40 grand. Ooh, okay. So Irvin, you might need to hit me up with a consult. I mean, yeah, I'm trying to learn how to flip, but my credit is shot. So let's say you just want to flip houses, Irvin. I mean, there's multiple ways to go about it, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure you have resources to actually fix the house. If you were to go, let's say Irvin, hypothetically, for 30 days, you put out signs everywhere, Irvin buys houses. Well, now you've got to get a deal signed with the person who wants to get rid of their house. Once you get that signed, now you need to go find a bank, not necessarily in that order, but you definitely need to have funds to be able to fix that house and turn around and sell that house, or turn around and refinance that house, put that house in your name via a bank. There are a million ways to do that, but I always tell people it's just smarter if you can just go ahead and get your business lines of credit set up, so then you have funds to do what you want, not what you got to struggle to do. So I'm in the Jay Morrison Club and we contact you. Okay, sure, no problem. I'll look forward to it. Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, the tax return is just a moment in time where, there's a couple I know. Their husband, he retired out of the military. He owns a lawn care company. She's still working a job. She did not want to adjust that W-2. I don't know why. It's her deal. Whatever. They did their taxes together. They got it back almost 10 grand, 10 or 11 grand. So it's not always, poor people. It's not always people with a bunch of kids. Sometimes one spouse owns a business, other spouse doesn't, is working that W-2 lifestyle. No problem, Anton. I mean, the thing is, if you're talking to somebody from California who's never left California, When you say a $30,000 house, they're like, that's a trash house, right? If you're talking to somebody from Kansas City, $35,000 house is what they live in right now. Okay, you're talking to somebody from parts of Texas that haven't been hit. Like, prime example, if I can give everybody right now, Fixer Upper with Joanna Gaines, Chip and Joanna Gaines out of Waco, Texas. People are like, Texas is so expensive. The houses are $200,000 and $300,000. Man, you go there in Waco, the house, they bought one house on that show for 20 grand. Yeah, it looked old, it had 1980s kitchen. They put about 30 grand in it, and they still walked away with a $50,000 mortgage. $50,000 mortgage is going to get you $350 to $400 mortgage a month. That's winning all day, baby. Any other questions, you guys? Any other questions on it? What to do with your tax return this year? Just put it in the below. I had 2 clients who won their bids. I'm very excited for them. One in South Carolina, one in Florida. Oh, no, Urban, not Miami. The rule of thumb is if you're in a major city or what we call a boomtown, you go on realtor.com and look at hour out. That's just free tip right there. I mean, that's just easy. You go an hour out. And let me put it to you this way, Urban. Have a person, if you look back in the archives of my shows, Slow and Low series, her name is Amanda Young. She lives in Tampa. I think it's like right there in Tampa. She's a nurse, single parent mom. She is on her 5th house this year. She only had 2 houses when I interviewed her. She's on her 5th house. So, I mean, she's using the technique that we're talking about, where she puts out signs and she closes the deal and she fixes them and turns around and rent them out. So she's sitting on 5 rental properties plus the house she lives in with her kid. Nurse buys houses. You can look her up. And people are like, Erica, Tampa, that's a whole nother part of Florida. I get it. Your state is long, but put your money where your money can make some money for you, right? I have other clients who are near Miami, where I think they might be higher up from Miami. If you know an area, work an area. If you think you can buy 5, 6, 7 properties in Tampa, do that. Because once you get that real money, then you can go do something else. Then you can go put in another marketplace that needs more money. Like, it's just like when I talk about my town. Of course, I'd love to invest in Charlotte and Raleigh, North Carolina, where all these people are moving and Californians are moving there. But at the end of the day, like, you can't afford to play in that sandbox. You just can't. D-Bloke, even in Miami Garden or Opa Loop, you cannot find it like that. That's true. I mean, if y'all live there, y'all know. My cousin lives in Hollywood. Really, she owns a house there, but she ain't really there all the time. She's in North Carolina. So I don't know how close Hollywood is to even all that area, but that's where she owns her stuff. Is tax liens a good way to make money? Yeah, let me give you an example. There's a guy there in Florida. He buys not hundreds, like thousands over the past couple of years. 7 years ago, he was homeless in Florida. Worked a job, had all this cash, and was like, I don't think I get much money at the bank. Started buying tax liens. Tax liens. He buys thousands a year at this point, and he sells hundreds back to other people. So you're getting 18%, 19%, or you're getting the property. So have you ever purchased property out of state? So D-Bloke, depends on what do you mean? Because technically my business is in North Carolina, and technically my business is in Texas. I have 2 different LLCs. So out of state, if I were you, I would work with a turnkey company. I talk about it there. I have a list of companies I give my clients that I suggest and I work with that I think are decent, that are in that range that you can invest in. But yeah, anyway, the tax lien story, the point of the story is the guy sells a bunch in Winter Haven, Tampa, some other counties in that area, about 5 major counties. And trust me, that guy just finished coming back from Italy. He's good. He's beyond good from one way to the other. Raleigh is where my cousins stay. Man, this is the deal. Raleigh still has some up and coming spots. Like, you can still go get a condo in Raleigh for $55,000. 2 bedroom, 2 bath, rent it out. And it not be a hole in the wall, and it not be the rough side of Raleigh, be an actual good side of Raleigh. They just overbuild on condos. That's all. Thank you, Chrissy. Urban Thomas, why you moving weight? What's moving weight mean? That made me nervous. I don't know what that means. I'm not good on slang. So, but Raleigh is, I'm telling you, Raleigh's a good spot if your cousin wants to try to invest. My friend just flipped a house. It was a 2-story, 3.5 bath. Was it 3.5? No, 2.5 bathrooms, upstairs, downstairs. Got it for 74, and then turned around and sold it for 110. So, I mean, that was a tight turnaround, real tight. But if it wasn't for him knowing the lady, you know, it wouldn't have been great. All right, so look, I'm gonna wrap this up. I have like a head cold out here because it went from 80 degrees 3 days ago to 30 degrees. Then today it's back to 70 degrees because Texas doesn't know what it wants to do. So I'm gonna wrap this up, take some more head medicine. But look, you guys, just think about some things you want to do this year. And the best thing I can do is tell you, take action. Some of my clients 30 days ago were talking about buying a tax lien. Now they officially have them. Now the rest of the year they can do whatever they want. If they get the property, they get the property. If they don't, they just make the money. They just made 3% to 6%. One dude might make 12%. I have family members who all they do is party when they get around each other. See, Urban, that's fine. Like, listen, it's called tribalism. You know who talks about it a lot? Glendon Cameron. Hit him up and watch his channel. If you guys don't know, I love him. He's hilarious. He talks about tribalism. I know a lot of people, when they all get together, because they were all military and they're all living in different places, when they come together, it's a party because they haven't seen each other. They don't live by each other. They miss each other. Nothing wrong with that. There is a problem with that's all y'all do every weekend. There's nobody making any advancements in life. There's no one growing. Now, Urban, if you start off and go, I own this daycare, then all of a sudden, Urban, you own 2 more daycares, or you start owning a corner store, or you start flipping cars on the side, or you start really moving, that's when people jump up on you. They're like, well, let me do what Cousin Urban's doing. I mean, I've had the same thing happen where I talk about my business or I talk about my clients, and my family kind of roll their eyes. And then I came in and I moved back to Texas and got a new car, and they're like, oh, okay, I hear you, girl, I hear you. So it's success leaves clues. And Urban, as long as you're making success and you taking you and your family on vacation, I mean, the thing I love about my family is we do a corporate vacation every year, and we go on a cruise every year. And people think this is silly, but we've been doing this for over 15 years, since I was 14 years old, maybe. So maybe 16 years, maybe 16 years. But what we do is we'll go that week of Thanksgiving. The day of or the day after Thanksgiving, we get on a bus, or we do what we gotta do to get to Florida, get on the cruise boat. We've been doing that for 15, 16 years as a corporation. And it's because people don't think big enough to go, we can take 20, 30 of us on a cruise boat every year. If everybody just put their $100 down for them and their child, and then just pay throughout the year, then there we are. Now, I do have an aunt that works for Carnival, so she did put a zip to the game, but you know how many families we see all the time every year since we've been doing this so long. There's some families who are like, hey, we live in the same city as them, never see them in our home city, and then be on the cruise boat and leaving the deck in Florida, see them every year. That's how serious it is. Like, it's hilarious. How can I get my money to start compounding? It's Sir Smoke a Lot. I don't know about that name, but look, Sir Smoke a Lot. If you watch any of my other videos, I'm always talking about Lending Club, Prosper, going on Robinhood app, buying stocks with no commission, E-Trade. I'm always talking about tax liens are a good way. Bank certificates to me at this point are just for savings because you're really not making money off of them. It's just money you can see in your bank that's going to be there in the future. The same, $200, $100, $50 is gonna be there in the future. How do I do live videos, Chrissy Battle? I try to do them every day, but lately I have a lot of clients and we're trying to close on this tax season. We're trying to get their businesses moving. So I can't lie and make a straight promise that I do it every day, but I do try. It's getting dark in Broward County. What's that mean, D-Bloke? I don't, tell me about it. Sir Smoke a Lot. It's 8 degrees in Wisconsin. Stop it with your good weather. Hey man, listen. The sun right now is beaming up this upper sunroom here, and it's kind of funny. So it's kind of warm in here. Blue Collar Millionaire is a great show. Urban, that's my favorite show. I love posting about that because guess what? The one woman on there that was super rich, like there's a ton of women on there, but super rich, she owned porta potties. You know how many people don't even want to deal with porta potties? They don't even want to be bothered with porta potties. That's her whole business. Picking them up, moving them, getting them out of there, bringing them to you. Filthy rich, right? Pun intended, filthy rich. But the same thing now, they got the luxury porta potties where it's on a trailer. It's on a trailer truck. It looks like it's a trailer truck, a small one. And you go inside up the stairs and the bathrooms are magnificent. That's a lot of money in that too. So, what's a lot of money in that Blue Collar Millionaire show was a guy who did paving the roads in the summer in Texas. Nobody wants to do that. No, you can't find workers. You can't find them. Here's a tip. My business here in Texas. What is one of my businesses in Texas? If anybody watches the show, put it in the comments. If you've been watching my show, what is the business I have in Texas? Austin, Texas, that I'm always talking about. I'm even wearing the shirt right now, but you can't see it's on the back. Echo Whiskey. Basil Hamilton, Echo Whiskey. You're ish right now. Like, what you doing? What? Basil Hamilton, explain that. Debo, do you invest in Fundrise real estate? Not yet. This is my deal. I like Fundrise. I like it. I want to use it as a borrower, but I actually know people. So it's easier for me to just pick up the phone. There's a company called Billwood Properties in Maryland. They be having $49,000, $55,000 properties renting out for $850 to $900, and it's mostly in-house with them, right? So it's easier for me to call the bank and be like, hey, I have 10 grand to do the closing, wrap it up. Now, do I recommend Fundrise? Yes, I have a blog on my blog, classyscl.com, where I talk about the 50 different real estate investing sites. There's 50 of them. Fundrise, you just see them do the most marketing lately because they're doing the REIT thing where they're kind of like, if you put $1,000, you can invest in these apartments. And if you do this over here, you can invest over there. I'll even put it to you this way. For my higher level students, eventually some of y'all, maybe y'all will, maybe not. Higher level students, my mom had a house with Bank of America, military lady. She had the last 40 grand on it. Nice house. She wanted to go ahead and just, finish paying off her 40 grand. Bank of America sold the note, right? So she was like, who are my new note holders? This is crazy. Come to find out, it's a mom and pop shop down the street from me in Austin. Literally a husband and wife who bought the note for 40 grand. So now my mom is paying her, I think her last $800 every month to this couple. And now she's like, well, I want to pay them right now and get it over with. I don't want people I don't know, it's not a big name holding my note. So think about, there's so many ways for y'all to really invest your money. There's some $20,000 notes, there's some $10,000 notes when people are paying the last, for yourself. Google Texas notes and see what you find, come on from thing. I got some few sites I saved back here, but Google it for yourself. What cruise line? NY, Uber driver? Carnival. Our family's trying Norwegian, but our aunt's been with Carnival forever. So it's tough to convince her. Plus she goes free. Like half my family goes free at this point. Like, because if my uncle was paying for all his sons and daughters, it keeps showing him as the person who bought the cruises. It doesn't show, it shows their name. They get a card, you get a card. Next time you go on a cruise, the card goes from red to brown to gold to silver. I might be messing that up, but it goes from gold to brown to silver. I'm trying to get in the light the right way here. But they go free. I mean, literally at this point. And then and if you don't go free, then they give you money, right? Like my aunt won some money at the casino. Well, they gave her like $100 in free drinks. She don't drink alcohol. So literally she called us, y'all want a drink? Here's my card. And we go up there and they'd be like, oh, thank you. Because they know when people have money on the card. So I like Carnival. They've been great to us. So I noticed it. Wow. This is Urban Thomas. Okay. Search for a thanks. Urban Thomas, I noticed it. Urban Thomas, wow. Urban Thomas, damn, it's on the tip of my tongue. Wall plaster. Not wall plaster. Keep going. You close. You're so close. D-Block, I want to invest $2,500 with Fundrise, but I'm still a bit skeptical about their advertisement returns. Don't be skeptical. If what you do is go Google Fundrise reviews and find other people who give reviews. Like when I do the lending club thing, first people are like, Erica, that's bullcrap. So this is what I tell people to do. Go Google Mr. Money Mustache. He's a way bigger blogger than I will ever be. And he did a whole series about how he had took $10,000 invested in lending club. And then once was so great, he was so happy with his $10,000, he dropped another 20 grand into it. There's a book called Alternative Investor. I don't have the name of the author on the tip of my head, but if you guys go look that up, I read the book, I got to the intermediate advanced level investor, peer-to-peer lending is in there. So Alternative Investor was for wealthier white dudes, who are in their 50s looking to invest their money, and peer lending is in there. So if that tells you anything, when you walk in the bank and let's give you an example. You got $1,000 and you drop it in the lending club and you only want to do the minimum, the $25 note. Okay, that means you have 40 notes. Now you go to the bank and tell them, I got 40 notes in lending club and I'm getting average returns of 13%. The bank is like, dang, right? So, I mean, it's just one of those things. So I think you should do it, but review if it makes you feel nervous, but focus, D-Blow, get that money moving, because if you don't move it, you'll spend it. It'll be like that. NYU or Celebrity Cruise Line, you and your family will enjoy it. I will definitely Google it. There's been some country music ones and some R&B ones coming up. But it's like, you got to imagine you got 20 to 30 different people every year. You got my oldest aunt who's in her 70s. My youngest aunt who's just hit 50. I mean, if I can give you some idea, my grandma was having children and my oldest aunt was having children at the same time. So we've got a lot of cousins. That gives you, I mean, she had so many kids in such a sprayed amount of time. My youngest aunt was born when my grandma was 41 or 42. So it gives you an idea. Basil Hamilton, EW, you're the shit right now. Like what you're doing. Don't want to curse on your chat. Thank you. I already did. Sorry. Urban Times E-Myth book is good. E-Myth book is really good because if you know any hairdressers or barbers, this is the deal. If my sister's a hairdresser, and yeah, she loves doing it, but her hands are tired. But if you got 5 to 10 girls all paying you $150 a week in their booths, they're doing more work than you, and all you gotta do is advertise, that's when you change. But a lot of people who are hairdressers, barbers, they are technicians. They love doing the work. It's hard to convince them to get over to the manager side, but that's the only way you can retire is owning the salon or owning the barbershop. That's why you see so many of them, not because it's cheap or people just invest in them. It just is what it is. But E-Myth is good because a lot of people think they can go from one level to the next. Okay, Urban Thomas, here. My business in Austin, Texas is a painting company. I'm not even gonna turn around because the shirt's ridiculous, but it's a painting company. I don't do any painting, but my workers do. And the market here was so crazy at one point, you could just do apartment painting all day long, all night long. Because before you move into your apartment, they send someone in there to paint over it, and it's easier to outsource it than to have them hire a full-time painter. Because what happens? People live in an apartment, they bring pets, they got kids, the smells, you got Indians, you got Mexicans cooking with spices. So I come in there, we paint the wall, and then we paint the wall. I don't come in there, but you know what I'm saying? Andrew and Dan do, those are my workers. Let me see. Your business has something to do with real estate. I do work with people who do real estate. I have my real estate license here in Texas. I haven't really done it in a while. I got to pay my dues because I've been so busy like online helping people. And then like when you start getting funds, the chase, to me, real estate is a for real chase. You got a for real hustle and chase in that one. But when you got cash and you just switched your side over to the investing side and free yourself up, it's funner. Just saying. Okay. No. I see you saying Francis Burroughs. The name of the property of the real estate investing company I'm talking about is Bill Wood, like BILLWOOD properties. You can tell them I sent you, or you can tell them whatever. It's okay. They are super nice people, husband and wife team. They even have like a little reality TV show that they filmed themselves and put on YouTube. It's pretty cool. And they wrote a book. She basically went from being a waitress to owning like 13 properties, and then of course doing a turnkey company. Damn, I thought it was wall plaster. It's not wall plaster, Irvin. Come on, man. Wall plaster. Well, you actually got the sand and buff walls. That's still there. Do you still do rentals? Yes. My office in North Carolina, if you guys ever are in the area, it's like 930 Cambridge Street. You guys can go drive by the window. I have a sign in the window, nothing else. And I have an assistant there, but I'm not there right now. I'm in Texas. But basically that manages local Fayetteville and Fort Bragg properties. And, you know, once you get to a certain level, let me do it like this. Some of y'all work in great companies right now. What does your company handbook say? What does your standard operating procedure say? Borrow that handbook and make a copy of it for yourself, because what happens is some of y'all have great ideas, but if you just use a blueprint in front of you, the only reason I'm right now doing painting in Austin, Texas, let me put you this, I was working inside the apartment industry in an office, and I'm like slaving away in this office as an assistant manager, because assistant manager always do more work than everybody else. All right, so I'm in there, and across my desk, I do billing, comes $500,000. I'm looking at the end of year funds. We gave a painting company $500,000. I meet the guy, he's 33. He literally was a couple years older than me. 3 years ago, it was just him and one other dude painting. And he didn't even stop by our place that often. So that's what put me up on game, was that guy knowing some of these apartment complexes, even though they're spending $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, instead of paying a full-time painter to work, they rather outsource it, the tax write-offs. I know I'm missing somebody here. Hold on, let me go back up. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Celtic D, I missed a good portion of the stream. Can you briefly go over main topics? Man, listen, don't waste your 2017 tax return. We're done invested. We talking about properties. We done hit a bunch of stuff. You might have to just watch it again. Sorry. I've been answering people's questions mostly. Okay. Francis found it. Good, Francis. Listen, those people are nice. I like them. They post on Facebook a lot too. They do Facebook Lives. Sir, smoke a lot. Do you help people get business credit? And if you do, how do? Yes, I do. Again, I'll put it in the links right here. It's always at the bottom of the show. I'm helping several clients right now because I did a tax lien show with Dre. Just hit that link, pay for a consult. We can get rolling because honestly, a lot of you have good credit. A lot of you have been working for years. You're in a good position. If you just take a few more steps and we get you in there, you're good to go. And the thing is, you got to have a plan. Some of y'all just want me to get you some money, and I get that. But at the end of the day, you got to have a plan because if not, you'll just be in more debt. I would have got you a business credit card, you'd have got mad debt. That's crazy. Keon, hey, Keon, what's up? Hey to you too. Urban Time is already Whole Foods. Man, Urban, Whole Foods bent over backwards to give y'all benefits. For real. They do. Everybody I know that works there, you know, you may laugh, but they're getting good benefits. I learned how to become good at customer service. Yeah. I mean, of course. Even when I worked at a real estate office that was a management property office, I just borrowed their handbook straight up and made it. This is the key for y'all who really want to go big level business. You actually print out your standard operating procedures. And when you print them out, you got to say, this is how you're supposed to dress. This is how you're supposed to come in. When you first come in, you answer phone calls, you do this, you do follow-up emails. You do all those things, right? Why is that important? Because it sets the tone for what you're supposed to do all day. So if there's a point in your day where it's boring, you just go back to the handbook. Now, why is this important? When you want to go home, let's say you have a baby, you want to sit home with your baby. Let's say you want to go eat lunch with your friends. Your employees know how to follow the handbook. They know how to follow the handbook. Right there. Like, you shouldn't come in the office and they didn't do anything while you were gone. They should be, okay, well, when he's not here, today we make phone calls, we follow up, we check the email, we do this. That shouldn't even be a question. That's how you scale up. Like, if you have employees in the office handling the paperwork, you can go out and get more sales. Sir, smoke a lot. I just started a transportation company. Okay, yeah, just hit me up at the link right above. I put the link up in there. And just message me. Yeah, I mean, listen, transportation, my uncle has 2 trucking companies. He's Chavis and Sons. You probably won't be able to Google them. They don't really do much. But they have like 3 trucks, they run out. So he got injured. What happens to a trucker when they get injured? Can't make no big money. But it's important when you have your own truck, pay you the big dollars. If you own 2, 3 trucks, now dudes are leasing underneath you. Now you're rolling, you're making money. You can stay at home more. It's just a different life, different levels. Okay. Keon Gordon, I'm going to have to consult with you because you mentioned buying liens in Somerville, SVN, that's where I live, so help me make me rich. Dude, there's so much opportunity there. You've seen Somerville blow up. Come on, man. You've seen Somerville blow up. You know how it's going. I mean, listen, look at Charleston, look at Mount Pleasant. I have nieces and nephews in Edisto Island and on another island. Trust. I mean, and I know the issue is kind of sad in parts of South Carolina where they've done some of those poor Black people on the islands. But at the end of the day, if nothing else, that should teach y'all to get trust for your family and set up and buy property. What happens is a lot of those people in the islands weren't educated. The state of South Carolina wouldn't send teachers down there to teach them anything. So you'll have a grandpa die and all the kids get the land. Well, they divide it between each and every kid. Now, let me put it this way. I have an uncle married to our family from South Carolina. He has 14 siblings. What happens when his mom dies? You got 14 people plus their children splitting the land. So that's why it's so important to have trust. It's so important to put money away. You know, there's a class I come out with, Esther L. is going to be talking about land lots to massive income, because honestly, that's how you do it, man. If you, let me tell you, a little secret here. You get you 2 acres, you put about 6 or 7 trailers on there, and it's cleaned up nice. People take care of the property now, and they stay there for a long time. They just do. So, I mean, that's what our family does. So anyway, I'm going to look at, so see, how do you get good credit cards with short credit history? I'm 21, so my oldest card is less than 3 years old, but all my credit scores are 740. How do I capitalize? You know, hit me with a consult. Same thing I tell you. And it's ways to go about it. Do you want to go get business credit cards, or do you want to get personal credit cards? And then if you want to get them, you're 21. What are you trying to do with them? If a bank person just stops for a second and asks you, hey, what are you trying to do with that card? Are you going to tell them working capital? Are you going to tell them you're building something? You buying something? Like, It's code words to this sometimes when you're on the phone with banks or you're in front of them that help you get approved. There's a lot of, like, let me give y'all a tip on this one. This is a free tip. Everybody goes and says, well, Erica, I Googled for free where I can get secure business credit cards. And I go, okay, well, you Googled, good. And it's only 3 people in the whole United States. Bull crap. Every single bank in America, look at me in my eyes, in America has the opportunity to create a secure business credit card for you. If you come in and put $500 on a CD deposit with them, they can make a secure credit card. Now, if you go in there and say, well, Erica told me on YouTube, y'all could do this. Nah, don't do that. Come in there. If you do, if you don't want to do consult with me, but you want to do your own thing, fine. Go in there, try to get a business credit card. And they say no, say, hey, I'm really interested in working with you guys. Is there a way I can set this up, maybe with a CD, maybe with a secure deposit? It happens. And there's like 10 banks I love working with that are just liquid gold. Not uncommon for people to get $70,000 in business credit cards. Not uncommon for people to get $50,000 in lines of credit. It's all about the lingo and it's how you go about it. So listen, everybody, I'm gonna have to wrap this up for real because my head's getting foggy now and it's getting darker outside. So look, this is Erica, Classy Climb Blog. If you have any more questions here, phone me in real quick. But definitely hit me up at, I have it in the links. Type it in one more time for you guys. And honestly, the 30-minute consults are totally worth it because not only can we work out your issues or what you're trying to talk about or what you're trying to do, we can kind of put a plan together, decide if we want to work together in the future. So look, I see Melanated Militia. Is Erica married? Erica is not married. Erica, once upon a time ago, was engaged, but Erica is not currently married. I apologize. DME Brown. Do you recommend LLC for ownership of your properties, including your personal home? It depends. It depends. What state are you in? That's the key. What state are you in? For your rental property, sure, because what happens? Look at Robert Kiyosaki. They sued him, but they can only get the money in that one LLC. Well, guess what was in that LLC? Just $100,000 in the bank. That was it. Now, Robert Kiyosaki's worth probably 100, 200, 300 million. But when you put something, if somebody falls down, Miss Brown or Mr. Brown, in that house around the corner that you rent out, and they done hurt their ankle and they want to sue you because you got a lump in the floor, they can only get the value, whatever the insurance is on that house, on that property, and that's it. If the lawyers come back and say, man, that house is only worth $50,000. And the insurance is only giving you $100,000. That's why you make every tenant have insurance too when they come in there. Because then if you want to challenge them, this is a tip. You sue their insurance because they sued yours. I want to sue you for causing harm or distress. Now guess what? That messes them up for future for having renter's insurance anywhere else. So they'll drop that pretty quick. GA, man, GA is crazy, man. Listen, GA, you get them cheap houses in Macon, cheap houses in Douglasville. GA's got a lot going on. Tax liens, man, Georgia, you don't pay in a year, you owe them 120%. It's ridiculous. It's like, even though the taxes aren't huge, again, when I talk about tax liens, some of these states, you're only paying $400, $1,000, $2,000. Now, if you're in Texas, Austin, Texas, had a client, mom's old, living with them in Houston, her house is worth $400,000, but she owed back taxes of $100,000. Now, either the kids are going to work together and fix this house and make the money off of it, don't let it go. So that's what happens. So, but anyway, you guys, hit me up for the consults. Definitely see you guys later. Celtic D, you're 21, but that's plenty age enough to get lots of credit. So you guys be good. Let me see if I can turn it off from here. Whoops.